how hard is it to get businesses to buy into this idea of using development as a way to do good business?
Yeah, you'd be surprised because it is true that there's still some camp. There's various sides of civil society. So you have the humanitarian side, you got the development side, and then you got the environmental side. The environment and the development have kind of gone along, and they start working with the private sector, and they're okay. The human rights side, because they've been on the ground since 50 years, fighting the multinational that created disaster, when they come in and then they destroy the environment, displace people, and so they have this kind of left feeling that the business is bad. So we need to get over that and make sure that we realize there's business and then there's business and then there's investors. And so to make these distinctions and make sure, and this is why I was mentioning it's important to have indicators that are common across all these exchanges and all across companies, so we can actually start benchmarking companies. And instead of saying companies are bad or companies are good, you say which one are good and which one are bad, which one are not acting in favor of the SDGs and which one do, and then let's support those that do.
And you were talking also about something like called the Sustainable Stock Exchange Initiative. How important is it to have pre-made tools that business can just buy into rather than throw it at them and be like, well, you figure it out, how it is that you're going to support the SDGs?
And that's huge, of course, right? So what happened is, first, we have colleagues at the Global Compact and at UNEP and at UNPRI and GRI. They're working together to adapt the existing, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. A lot of these SDGs is basically what we've been trying to do for a long time. It's just to have, it's kind of the compass that we needed for globalization. So now it's basically adapting those indicators so that they're aligned with the SDGs. So that's the one thing. The second thing is basically providing the tools, but also the peer-to-peer learning. The tools are very important. So we do issue to them guidance and how to engage their listed company, to give them the tools on how to report and why it's important, but also to learn from one another. If I've tried it, didn't work, I got bashed on. So, and also to put a little bit of a peer pressure to raise to the top as opposed to the bottom.
And last question, you mentioned also that one of the challenges that you face is literacy about financial and economic matters when it comes to high-level diplomats and stuff like that. What are you guys doing to address that?
Yeah, and I mentioned the high-level diplomat, but it's all of us. I mean, most of us, when somebody start talking about investing, you roll your eyes and like, oh God, So it's all of us. We don't teach this at school. You learn, home economics, but they don't teach you even how to make a budget, let alone how your investment is actually, your pension is invested and what impact that has in terms of the companies it can put in. And so it is very important to have this financial literacy. We do financial literacy through the business school work that we do, so with the business school to develop their curriculum too, so the next generation actually knows how to invest in a sustainable just way. We also do it through the peer-to-peer learning, so with the companies, because it's easier to get to all companies through the exchanges. And then we do it through this, what I mentioned, the group of friends on sustainable finance. So those are basically ambassador level, and they bring in people to help them. So just to give you an example, the chief CSR of Aviva was in New York, and we did session with the African group, with the Arab group, with the Asia group, and Latin America. And he literally goes over with this little map, simplified map of the investment sector. So it starts with people, and it ends with people, because they're the workers, they're the investors, right? And then it goes down all the way to the stock market, and he explained the incentive at each point on how to invest, and so to help understand where the levers are that we need to change the incentive to align with the SDGs, these famous investments, these famous trillions.